Double kill!
What's up, everybody? On today's episode, I will be kind of interviewing David because I did not have the ever so coveted access to the closed beta that Tokon had this past month or so. I'm going to run through a bunch of questions that we have here to ask David to see how he felt on his experience playing Tokon for the first time. All right, so let's start from when this thing was first announced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was almost mind-bending to me seeing this thing coming onto my screen, and piece by piece, I'm going, holy shit, is this what I think it is, right?
Yeah.
And you still can't believe it because it's years and years and years of it just not sounding like it's something that's going to exist in the way that people want it to. How did you feel looking at the trailer for the first time?
Well, you have used this GIF. Maybe you can put in the video about this guy with curly hair. Like, oh my god!
You don't even. That's like, dude, that was like thousands of nerdy fighting game dudes doing that all in unison.
Yes, we were like hive mind connected, and then we started doing this thing. Yeah, for me, I mean, I went nuts, and obviously us because there's like the expectation. Is this Marvel's Capcom 4? Like, what is it? Like, which one? And then it started little by little. Oh no, is it Arxis? Like, what is going on? It's just questions after questions, but all more intriguing after the other.
I think the biggest question too was like when you saw the title of like the name of the game, and they're like, oh, okay.
I think, but you know what? I think that was. Listen, if this was perfectly done, like specifically done, that title is so worthy, right? I think it would have been great because it let us disengage from the craziness that we were. You know, it's like and they were like, what? So I think that was a great speed bump because then it let us digest all that we just probably saw. You know, that we were just, is this real? Is this what the fuck?
All right, so let's get to the actual beta. From what you felt watching the trailer to the point where you're actually touching the game, how do you feel your expectations like swayed from the reality of like actually touching the game?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, that's the most excited that I am to talk about right now because when I saw that trailer, obviously, how to say, and we saw that it wasn't Marvel fully, right? Because he has some type of different showing or gameplay, and then immediately I started comparing, like, is it Guilty Gear? What is it, right?
Yeah, is it Grand Blue?
Or
Is
is it
it
Grand Blue?
Dragon
Yeah,
Ball? Is it
Skullgirls, kind of,
BB
because the characters.
Tag?
There's so many characters in the screen, so I also kind of compared to Skullgirls in my opinion, like very like glance of that. So not knowing fully what it was because this came out of nowhere, and obviously my hope also in there that I want Marvel, right? I want Marvel 4. I want to play that, because the last one that I played was MBCI, and that was like a mixed feeling from that, right? But when I actually put my hands on it and played it, completely alienated towards from my expectations. It didn't feel like a Marvel. It didn't feel like anything that I envisioned in my head I was gonna be playing from. Like if I tell you, hey, there's gonna be a Marvel fighting game, in my head I'm like, all right, this Marvel, let's play crossover games. And while I appreciated that it was different, like I couldn't just grab the controller and just play it straight from it and do things by muscle memory. It felt like I was being introduced to a different dish, right? Like a different plate of food that I probably would like. And that allowed me to be like, oh, okay, let me take a step back because I'm so used to now by more modern games now that it's just very autopiloting, right? They just very simple to grab and just go and play it. It doesn't mean that this game is not like that, but at first, my expectation from my muscle memory towards what I have from Marvel fighting games to what I play, it was very different. Dude. It was so different. I was like, when do you? I feel like a noob, and I loved it. I love that part. Yeah.
After well, not after. Let's try this again.
Mm-hmm.
So even as you were playing, right? Let's say as you were playing.
Yeah.
How did the presentation feel in front of your face? Because time and time again, you can see a game on a trailer or on YouTube or anything like that. But once it's in front of your fancy TV monitor, whatever you guys play on, it's a kind of a different story, and usually for the better.
Yeah. I think that what they show in there was true to what I play. Actually, a little bit more. I wish they show even more because the game has a spectacle in terms of presentation, like it's grandeur, right? Like when you start the match, right? Like your team, it's not just portraits of your character, right? Your team is literally walking, like almost like American Gladiator type of thing. I'm showing my age, but basically like you versus this team, like it shows in there, right? And you see all your team members and your colors that you pick, and then you see the enemy's team, which can be skippable. Don't get me wrong, but in the beginning they show you that, and for me, I was like, okay, they definitely took their time to elevate whatever they're bringing you because they can just focus on the gameplay and that's it. But no, they definitely feel they know their IP is grandeur like that, and they're not playing it safe, right? They're showing you very shiny colors, very flashy, very explosive because everything explodes in that game. Very explosive, and for me, it let me be engaged, right? I was like, yeah, let's go, let's go. It doesn't feel lazy. That's good. Instead of being like loading screen and I'm just seeing two icons of a portrait there just doing nothing, it just felt really cool.
By the
Um,
way, before you continue, the American Gladiators had rebooted in the mid 2000s, and
yeah.
it's rebooting again this year.
Also, it's modern. I'm talking about
Yes,
modern
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
right
So
now.
people
So
don't even don't make it hot. You just
I,
there's new stuff. We're
clearly, I was talking about the upcoming one,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm excited about it. I just think to that question, I just think the presentation was up to par. Now, have game presentation in the latest game have been up to par? Yeah, more or less because graphical in a way I think is very easy to achieve, but it's Arc System, man, and they're definitely showing up. They're showing up in terms of how it looks. They're showing up in terms of how it sounds, and actually how things collide with each other. It didn't look messy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's hard to explain. Like sometimes in games like very anime or things like that, things can get lost in what is happening.
Mhm.
And I think maybe by the color shading or whatever the case may be, it just didn't feel messy.
I think
It was a lot, but
for
it not
me
messy.
a good example of what you mean is recently in Tekken when Clive came out.
Hmm.
Visually, there's a lot of hit sparks and all that stuff
Yeah.
coming out of Clive, like the character itself. There's stuff going on the stage, like the color, like it just all gets saturated into like one. It just looks a little like maybe they didn't think this through because like it is technically known for being one of the bigger games, like known for being competitive, and then you just can't kind of see a lot of stuff coming at you,
Yeah.
and it's cool that even that you mentioned like there's so many explosions and so many
Mhm.
things happening in game that but you're still able to easily process like what's happening where and all that
Correct.
stuff.
I got hit
Yeah.
here and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it is not the fastest game, like, to some standard. It's still quite fast, but I think in terms of presenting that what is happening, it felt good. It looked good. I can tell, wow, I got hit. Or when things hit me, I was like, oh, it looks like it should have hurt. Like the hits kind of collide with the image and how it supposed to work.
Yeah.
Because in this game, when they hit you in a corner, which I know we're going to talk a little bit later about that, but things happen and they project you like a stage transition. And yeah, you feel that. You know when it happens instead of like, oh, what is going on? I'm here. No, it didn't leave me with that impression. So that was really cool about them. Yeah.
In terms of the characters you got to play as, how did it feel? How did the cast feel?
They're very unique, but kind of similar. And what I mean by that is this arc system and this game feels like a collaboration of everything they have learned so far. And what I mean by that, like it has a little bit of like the uniqueness of Grand Blue characters that they have some kind of like special skill, like they do something specifically. But then it also has the universal organic type of like how to attack kind of in a way like Dragon Ball.
Hmm.
And what I mean by like if you hit him, with a sweep or something, and then
Like
how easy
a like
you
would you
follow up.
say it's like a easy entry understanding on like how offense works, like
Yeah, I
Dragon
would
Ball
say,
almost?
and that's without saying that it has auto combos and all this stuff, whatever. I'm just thinking in the structure of like a character. You know how some games like more like Unio, right? Unio has the characters. Some normals attacks might not even be like the rest of the cast, right? It
Yeah.
would be completely different, right? And while some like all the characters in Tokon have different normals, they all feel very similar, like
Okay.
in a way that they function in the same type of way.
Yeah.
And that's why I say I see more like that Dragon Ball. But they all have uniqueness and they all have that freshness of you couldn't grab Star Lord and grab Captain America and do things the same way
Gotcha.
if you are to do special moves. But if it is to attack, most likely you might. That's how it felt
Okay.
to me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of music, did you like what you were hearing?
So can you give me a scale and I can rate this better? Give me
So,
like 1 to 3 or one
like
to
let's
four.
say Grand Blue.
Okay.
Universally, most people think the music in there is great.
Yeah.
Strive is polarizing. Strive is like some people
Yeah.
like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, very, how do I put this?
It's generic. It's very
Very, yeah, exactly. Very,
forgettable.
it's like good but generic,
Forgettable.
forgettable,
Yeah.
hard. Like there's, it's like out of like the 100 something songs they have, maybe like you have like 5 or 6 that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
So like I would say like comparing it to the other ones, BB Tag, by the way, sick.
I'm shaking my head already, by the way, just to let you know.
BB Tag has sick music, just letting you know.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it takes from other things, but still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, where does it fall on between all those games?
Yeah, I think now that we're talking about this, the picture is actually becoming even more clearer. That I feel it's even more on that statement that this feels like a collaboration of all their experience into one.
Mm-hmm.
Because this feels like the generic version of Dragon Ball with a mix of strife, lyricism. Is that a word? I don't know.
Lyrics, like
Like,
it has lyrics.
yeah, some of
Okay.
them, right? Like it has like some lyrics and some of them. It just feels like the theme of them feels heroic and they feel like cartoonish,
Mm.
but they feel more in a way of more leaning into the strife area or generic like Dragon Ball.
Do you remember how the music was in Marvel versus Capcom Infinite? Where instead of
Oof.
going for like really, like I would say like the ones in UMVC 3 were very like
Jazzy, like weird.
where like memorable in a way, like, but
Yeah.
like in for MVCI they almost took that like generic movie themes like to feel like a movie theme kind of thing. Like, is it more along that
It's
lines?
an upgrade, as yes, but in an upgraded way. Because Iron Man has some music, and I think maybe that's the only one that has a theme, like a lyric or whatever, and it's cheesy. And you see in Twitter all over people, comparing it, like what would it look like in a real cartoon like Iron Man, and they're mad funny those
Are
memes.
one of the lyrics "Hey Jarvis, jerk it a little"?
My that might have bump it up to a
Yeah.
10. But while the music, I would say they're not for me. They're not memorable. They're not terrible.
Okay.
Like I feel like I would prefer different type of music, but then again, I think it would be more generic. And anime always have this edgy type of
Yeah.
music. Anime games, so I guess this is like a mix of strife. How to get to an American audience? Definitely feels American audience targeted,
Mm.
like legit, like
Weeble though,
Western
right?
target.
Because like it feels like they're targeting weebs specifically.
No,
Cause
I
dude,
disagree.
they're like they're like fucking, especially Stardo. He just looks like he's from what's that called? Monster? No, not Monster.
Oh, whoa.
Monster Hunter Academia. What's that called?
My Hero Academia,
Yeah, there
Spider-Man.
we go.
Spider-Man looks like that. No, I'm talking about in the music type,
Oh,
not
okay,
in
okay,
how the
okay. Not
game
the
looks.
design and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and the music feels more like the audio. They're definitely trying to go with the Western type because
Okay.
I would not see a anime game made in Japan like that with this type of music. I would not, right? Other than Strive, and then now this. So music is a hit or miss. It doesn't bother me. I think it's fine. Like once you play it, to be honest, you might feel yourself hearing certain parts while you're doing combo, and
Yeah.
some of them are really cool. But for the most part, yeah, nothing that I'm like, bro, you gotta listen to
Yeah.
this.
So I think for this game, one
Hmm.
of the biggest things that were a mind bender to the genre of tag fighters, right, is that they decided to go with a 4v4 type of
Yeah,
aspect, right?
yeah.
As you played the game, what in terms of the gameplay stood out to you in like a positive and a negative way?
Oh man. I think so. Let's start with the positive because it's always easier to say, right? I think the positive is when you do things in that game, when you attack, when you do stage transitioning, or when you hit with a special move, they feel good to do. Like they feel like I want to do that again, kind of thing. Instead of like I'm bored of doing this. Like I felt for me, I was playing Miss Marvel for the most part, and when I would do like a specific grab that she has, or she extends her arm and then she grabs you and then slingshot to you and then hits you. Like all those things felt really cool to do in the game, like while it was happening. And sometimes even while getting hit, it was like, wow, that looks really interesting. Not because it was new, but because the hits kind of had that good hit stop and motion and animation all put together that it blended well. I think the tag system was very interesting, was very new to learn because it doesn't for me it doesn't follow some of the things that I know. Even me playing BB tag that you throw an assist and then tag to that assist, it didn't feel as organic as that one. Which okay, it's fine, it's a new game, but my muscle memory was not helping me because I had the impression every time I wanted to do something was like the previous, right? It's like again, this it's like a similar dish but not the same, right? But that was fine. I think the tag felt cool and new. Supers felt they looked cinematic. I would wish they were a little bit um more out there. And what I mean by that, do you remember in Dragon Ball how everyone has like a level 1 and then a level 3,
Yeah,
right? For the most
yeah.
part. And most likely you see the level 3 all the time. In this case was the other way around. This case is you always most likely see the level 1 all the time, and then maybe an occasion you see uh the very super grand level 3 or whatever the case may be.
I think
So I
I think
mhm.
that sounds like something that could definitely change as people explore the game because this had weird times on like when you could play anyway, right? It was like pretty limited on the amount of time you could play.
Yeah, and I would definitely I want you to remember this about the supers because I might forget. But I definitely want to hit back on that. But let me tell another thing positive that I like was just gameplay, not lobby or nothing like that, right?
Anything, anything.
Okay, so the lobby I definitely did like in a way, and I know Arc System's been, errors and trials, so kudos to them that they've been trying different types of lobby style. Like one was in Strive, most hated one, not working. You get these little pixelated things, machines don't work. Then you have the Guilty Gear one, like the previous one that was like maybe like Blaze Blue kind of feel. It was like a room, and then you don't know kind of when who's invited there or not. It was kind of interesting and weird. This one feels more like Grand Blue, and I'm glad that it feels more like Grand Blue, like in a secluded way. Um,
The
the lobby.
updated rising lobby for Grand Blue, right?
Correct
Yeah,
for Grand Blue lobby. Maybe to be fair, even the original one, because the original one was in a boat and that was like a secluded area type of
yeah,
thing. So kind of more like that, but like an upgraded version of that, right?
yeah,
You can walk around, like it has joystick that you can interact with, which is really cool. Like to pass the time, I really really love when they do those type of things that because maybe you're winding off after a fight that was crazy. You're just doing silly things. It was easy to get a match right, getting into machine and press X and then watch it like watch someone play or you play yourself, and it had like little like it didn't feel empty the lobby. What I mean by that, like it had like wordings around like a galaxy, like it had
yeah,
silly things in there, like it had personality, right? It had
yeah,
personality for sure. And you can use your avatar. It's very Gramble, so if you familiar with that, you more likely might know, but if not, then you can always pick like an avatar of the characters that you can select from the beta, pick their colors too, and obviously you can chat like normal stuff. It just felt nothing groundbreaking, but they feel like maybe they didn't had enough time to be like, hey, we need to go really crazy in development of this lobby and let's use something that we know it works, let's condense it and then let's patch it up,
yeah,
right? And then the presentation when they do like also when you win, right, the win poses and win quotes and that they talk to each other in intro, I love that. In anime fighters, they're always very flashy when characters have rivalry. In here, it's just talking because they cannot clash animations. But it was cool seeing some of the banters. They were really interesting for me.
yeah.
Um, But when it came to some of the negative in terms of, let's start with the combat and stuff like that, not based on preference, but more like inaccessibility.
Mm-hmm.
The tagging of the characters, like when you tag a character, of course you press a button, you don't have all your assists, which is fine. But during the fight, sometimes it got confusing which was my assist that was coming up, because it goes like in a sequence, like 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't figure out if there is that I can send my third assist before I can send my first assist. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
And then when to tag to it, you have to hold a button that didn't feel like
You
very
you know
intuitive.
that's one thing I didn't think about when it came to like let's say like when you play other tag fighters, right? Like you tag in and tag out, you might mess up your you switch up
Sequence.
your the order of where your
Yeah.
characters are, so then you have to pay attention to which assist is which now because of how you tagged in and tagged out. I
Yeah.
didn't
Not here.
yeah, I didn't think about like any that being a possibility with like one whole extra character.
Yeah,
That
not
was
here. And given that you gain the assist as you do certain things in the game, sure, that's pretty cool, like space transition or something like that. It just felt for me that I would still get lost, because I was like, who am I tagging to? Why am I holding? Why is it not tagging? Hey, I wanna, like, an example. If I would have pressed down and assist or whatever, to tell you, to be honest, I don't know who would have came out. Maybe the second one will come out. Maybe that's how it is. Like maybe it's forward, but down and back, whatever the case may be. But it was not easy for me to understand. The
do
auto
you,
combos are okay. Uh-huh.
I'm pretty it'll happen over time, right? You just get used to it. But do you think
Yeah.
it's like something that could be like almost a deterrent for people to try and pick up and play?
Nah, to be honest, and that's what I was gonna go by. I don't. This is more like maybe it's my case or maybe some people, but I don't think it's gonna be a factor that is like a big negative factor. It can be cleaned up, maybe how it's easier to do, but no, because the auto combos in this game are very accessible, and they might not be Dragon Ball Fighters accessible that it plays for you, kind of, in a way, but it kind of does, because when you do auto combos in this game, they are very strong. They hit really hard. Like they do significantly amount of damage than when you do like a regular type of combo that can do slightly more. And that's always that balance that I don't know if anyone has measured very well. It's either really crappy or really good or insignificant or significant. Not sure. But yes, the damage in those auto combos were very concerning for me. And also how rewarding they are, because the auto combos also can give you the reward of getting like an assist if it is in the corner. Like it gives you a reward on top of that in some cases. Like I don't know, I didn't like much the auto combos strength in this
Mm-hmm.
game. Not that they are in there, I like that they are in there, sometimes they're cool, but I didn't like that they were strong. And also I didn't like that some attacks looked like they were part of just the auto combo. Maybe I could be wrong, but it felt like that. Like some combos like, oh, only this come out when I do this. Which
Almost
is
like
weird.
Dragon Ball, right? Dragon Ball can have
Almost
that, right?
correct, almost like that.
Like super
Which
strong zoning, like not zoning, like homing auto combos. Was there any kind of like auto correcting in the auto combo that seemed kind
they
of
were
fucked
slight,
up?
very slight. It doesn't, like I said, it only does 2 hits before it stops, even if it doesn't connect.
Yeah.
Like if you do outcome only two, not the whole thing sequence go by. But in a regular conference, anyone pressing that button will definitely come out with something rewarding. Like literally, either super, either an assist coming out, either the whole team comes and jumps you up, because one of the mechanics in the game is your team coming in and attacking your enemy,
Yeah.
and it's literally done with an auto combo, right? So
Um,
that is a feature at least locked into that.
would you say is there anything that you felt negatively enough in the game that you would want to have changed? For sure, you're like, no, this is something that needs
How
to change.
often you transition to stages?
Okay,
Um,
but
because,
isn't that up to you?
well, technically no, because if you hit him in the corner with an example, I'm to put in the best example. Sorry, my dog is walking around. If you hear him, if you're Ryu and you throw a Hadouken in the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you hit him with that Hadouken, just that simple projectile, the enemy is gonna whoa and go to the next stage.
Mm-hmm.
So like a simple move, like a simple single move that you will hit, that is nothing special, not EX or nothing. If you hit him in the corner, they're gonna transition towards the next
Isn't it
stage.
only specific moves though that do that?
No,
Okay.
you can do it. No, you can do it with it reaches like a threshold when you're in that corner,
Okay.
almost like strive.
Okay.
So there's a big variety of those moves that can lead into that type of thing,
I
right?
could have swore it was like specific moves break or
Well, it
specific.
didn't feel to me because when I play Miss Marvel, obviously her punch, you literally obviously will put you in there. But when I would do like things like her spinning attack and stuff like that, would be like, oh, the character went over there.
Maybe it is specific moves, but they're like so common that it's hard
Yeah,
to tell at the
and they
moment.
come out soon a lot when you're doing auto combos.
So
So if you're eventually doing auto combo, you might end up in that stage transition.
so
So
one
yeah,
thing I was wondering though, when it comes to like something that came up in my head, when it comes to like something I would see as negative, I'm seeing a a beefy character filled like characters versus screen right before the game
hmm
starts, and I'm wondering, the time is always something that's been like talked about, especially like let's say with Dragon Ball. At a certain point in time, rounds or matches or whatever would take a really long time. Like, but you
yeah.
have 8 characters still on the screen to get through. Does it feel like it's and I believe it's like 3 out of 5 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Like in
Yes. Yes.
Tekken, like does it feel
hmm
like it almost feels like to me like, whoa, I don't want to watch a grand finals reset to this fucking game if I don't really like what's going on like
So
on screen. Like how long
yeah.
does it feel? Does it like at least playing it? How does it feel like the matches?
So I would say yes and no to what you said. Mentioned like the Dragon Ball fatigue that you're fighting, and then you're like, damn, these people are still fighting. Even though it's cool, these people still fighting. When you finish a set, like 3 out of 5, right? You win two, the other person wins two, and you're like, wow, the last one. It literally for me, it felt like, damn. And even I was playing with one of my friends, right? I like DJ was playing, and he also I heard him in the microphone like, whoo, like that, like you finished type of thing, like the match. And it's because of that, right? Again, this is very early. We don't know maximizing damage and all that stuff,
Yeah,
but the first impression was definitely, yeah, it does feel long. Not long as Dragon Ball, but that's why I feel like this is like a collaboration. So it feels like a version of that, but in a tuned down way, but
yeah.
it still feels too long for me. And it's not because there's 4 characters, because it's only one health bar, right? There's only one character, but man, does it feel like okay, perfect example. For those that you don't know, double K 2XKO game from Riot, right? In the first beta, whatever, those matches, bro, were lasting. We're like, bro, these matches are lasting long, long, long. And they kind of changed that up with the recent latest closed beta, whatever, open beta. But yeah, that fatigue feels like a little bit longer in Tokon. Like I'm like, man, I'm still fighting, but I know Marvel maybe wants to see these characters in the screen for a long time, but let's move it along just a little bit.
I
Just
mean,
like
you're
little.
you're a guy that likes first to deaths anyway. So,
Yeah, but so imagine doing first to death in like time chamber now.
is there anything you would like to see in the next beta specifically? Like,
Yeah.
um, would it be like functionality or gameplay specific, character specific? What would it be?
Well, I don't think we're gonna get a beta in years until almost come out. Me being exaggerating, almost close to coming out, but obviously network testing is fine. I wanted to see more of not training, but what is this game other than the fighting game gives me? Even if it's something simple, oh, you can watch the comics of this all these characters.
You
How
remember,
the
unfortunately, for the game, MVCI had a demo, and in that
yes,
demo you could play some of the story.
yeah, and that was the cross in there that they had to bear.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like something like that, would you want like a single player aspect added to the game to
Well,
so
it
people
kind
could
of has
see?
it already, maybe, but if it does, maybe very minimum because when you start the game and boot it up, it gives you like a train. Hey, let's learn how to play, which is really cool. By the way, it does left and right section of that, so you can learn both sides. Really cool. But it's Captain America talking to Iron Man, and they're talking about certain things, and it feels like a story mode. Again, almost like Grand Blue. You have 2 characters talking about something, and now they're fighting in the whole stage. So maybe yes, maybe no. I just wish I would see more like what am I gonna get as an extra modes or something like that. Maybe like I mentioned, maybe like a boss battle that you gotta fight
Mm-hmm.
Doom, and then you're using your heroes to fight like a juiced up Doom with like all these Doom bots and stuff like that. That would be sick, right? Like Granblue does that really cool, and that can be the cinematic version of that, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get that in the demo. I mean, the beta, whatever demo. But if it is, I think that would be a good way to get people into the game, right? Yo, you saw that fight that you do, and it has this music, and then the boss changes.
Yeah.
That would feel very Marvel like, right? Like that would feel really cool. I would like to see that.
Especially for people who there's plenty of people that like fighting games enough that they want to touch every aspect of it, but not so much the multiplayer part of it because it
Yeah,
feels bad to lose. Maybe they lose a lot, but fighting an AI or fighting a boss or
yeah.
going through the story mode or going through some type of other quests that don't involve fighting
Mhm.
another human is like piques their interest.
For the most part, right, if they want to follow up in their own success, right, like Granblue might not be in the peak of that when doing this type of mode, but I think them being one of the first doing this type of things in this anime style game, I think it worked out in a way. I feel like their assets were really cool and they're like used, instead of just having it there, like we're not doing nothing extra with this game. Nah, the more the better.
Yeah, all right.
Um, Wait, I would like to see in the demo if they implement a new mode that you can play with your friends, like as in just invite.
4v4. Yo, tag me
No,
in,
no,
bro.
no,
Tag
no,
me in.
not
Nah,
that.
bro, you're number
That's
4. You're not
that's a
getting in
different.
until
That would be insane. But no, that's
all
already.
8 connections fighting each other, trying to
Oh my god,
keep
no,
stable.
no, no, no. More like as an invite, one-to-one invite. That's what I'm saying. Because over here you have to find
Yeah.
like a machine to fight. Yeah, that's all.
All right. So let's start wrapping it up. I would
Got
say
it.
you got 2 more questions out of me.
That's good.
One of them is in the future landscape of things, right? When it comes to
Mhm.
all the tag fighters coming out and all that stuff. Where do you see this landing against the other tag fighters and against being, let's say, a mainstay in the Evo circuit or any kind of competitive circuit? Do you see it being a top 3 game or anything else like that?
I see this game similar in the beginning. Obviously, you can prove me wrong. Similar to what MVCI did, and I'll tell you this much: when MVCI came out, it might not look good, but it had one of the coolest freaking tournament there with a Infinity Gauntlet and all these cool things, and and they were all hands on in that. But it needs to survive that first year in order to be okay. I'm here to stay. I think it's gonna have a very strong first showing. It is Marvel. It is Arc System. It cannot. I don't think it's gonna fail in that aspect. But is it gonna fly too close to the sun? We have to see. But I feel like it's gonna have more or less like that MVCI first tournament type of like, you know, excitement that people are like, oh, really? You can get that? Then everyone wants to play that,
Yeah.
because who wouldn't want to get an Infinity Gauntlet that is not eggs
So
in your hand,
So it basically needs to do a bunch of like damage control without there being any damage at first, like MVCI had, and also them not just bailing out on the game like Capcom
Correct. The
did.
bailing, the bailing out, and I don't think they're gonna bail out right away. But yes, correct. Not leaving it like, well, this was a collaboration that we wanted to do. We out because now you got so many people invest, and they're like, okay, so what now? No, you never because license says it's never gonna happen, and that's the tricky part. This is such a specific, unique collaboration that we don't know. Part two of this, you don't know if that's ever gonna happen, right? Or anything like that.
All right, so
DLCs, we don't know.
what's the magic number on release for how many characters should be coming out in order for people not to complain on the internet? This one's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think will be to not complain, maybe 22 characters,
Interesting.
because I'm trying to round it up
Yeah.
to like 4. I think that's like 4 different teams, 5 different teams, maybe.
4,
My
8,
math is wrong.
16, 20, 24. Let's say 24 characters.
Okay, so 24. There you go.
I was thinking
I
around
think
the same too.
sounds healthy.
Yeah.
24 sound. It doesn't sound like ooh, this is so little or
24,
ooh,
and
it's
it
too
needs to
much.
have a good balance of villains, good balance of women.
Is it gonna be 24 with DLC because it's coming in the future?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
So it's gonna be 20 and then 4
I think
DLCs.
I think it's gonna be coming out sooner than later. So I doubt it's gonna.
No,
be
for sure.
24, but 24 sounds like a decent number for nowadays. And
I say 24.
all right, so last question, David. I do not want you copping out on this one. This is the most serious question you're gonna get asked.
All right.
What is your dream team of 4 to be put in the game that you would use?
I'll use Jean Grey, Cyclops, Magneto, and She-Hulk.
That's a lot of X-Men.
That's so quick. That's so quick. That's so simple. Good.
I'm
Not even
asking.
think.
I said it this way just to make sure you don't cop out. Because last time you were like, I don't know any X-Men,
Because I fucking love the
but I
X Men. I
mean, you
think
kind
any
of
of
gave
them
me
would
the
be.
same answer anyway.
Yes, I
So
did.
yeah,
Because I did give
I
you
think I
Cyclops
think
and
it
Jean
does
Grey.
sound like a cool team though.
Hell yeah, dude. That would be insane.
All right,
I
guys.
need that.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up. Is there any closing things you want to say, David, about
I
Tokon?
think, yeah, I think it was actually a really fun game. If another beta comes out, I would encourage anyone to play it, dude, because it was actually a good experience. It's like something really unique and really awesome. I enjoyed it a lot. I definitely will be playing it, and I just hope it's not Dragon Ball Fighters in a bad way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. That's all I'm hoping that it's not.
I think that's one of those like statements that for people, it's like if you know, you know.
Yeah, correct. Dragon Ball, I love it. Yeah, we love it too. Believe me. But yeah, it was awesome. It was a great game. It was an awesome game.
All right, have a good one, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode.
Peace out.
One more time. What were you saying about Yoshi P being bad at his job?
No, I mean that's what probably Sony is saying right now.
Why?
When we're gonna get him, because he thinks he's full of himself, and all this, especially what he's doing is playing a game that he like, just enjoying himself. Um, no, in the presentation when he brought up his boy, right, the Monster Hunter director,
Yeah.
and the current director, he was so happy, and the way that I kind of felt that was because he was swaying, he was like hype, like he's trying to show off these people, like, look, this is my friend, like, this is what we're doing. Rather than when he's just showing a presentation that has to show that because someone else told him, he's just standing there stoic or whatever.
You know what's cool to me? The dude's probably like in his 60s, right? And he's having that much energy about something. It's pretty cool.
Or passion about what he's doing. He's been doing this for his life, and he still has this passion towards it. No, he looked genuinely having fun and laughing. They were all playing, all four of them. They were playing.
Unlike Sakurai, who just looks drained.
Sakura, no. So funny enough, yeah, he does look drained because he feels like everyone is an idiot unless him. You get me? I understand this in a way that no one else does, so I have to over-explain it to you. That's what he feels like.
Oh, okay.
Because like when a Nintendo is stupid, kind of,
Yeah.
That's what I get from him.
Oh man. Sounds a little egotistical in a way.
Think about it. Think about his presentations. They're very awesome, but they're also showing you like you don't know about this. I'm gonna tell you about it.
Yeah. All right. Let me check this.
Yeah.